I think we're all, at some point in time, guilty of wrongdoing, mistakes, bad choices, potential habits, vice. Should I take it right or go this way?
I would go left and then go. Oh, you can go to the light.
And we try to do our best to not repeat over and over again. But here we are, Starbucks. I'm sure at some point we'll be at Disney again.
Oh, we will be at Disney again because I want to go to Epcot again, and the child has never been to Hollywood Studios.
In the future. But all we can do is try. But again, depending on what you're trying to do, it may come across to some as perfectly fine. And to others as blasphemy.
Okay.
Car beeps a lot. So what do you do?
Hold this cup tighter.
You know, it's like, as I have witnessed in some of the it's uneven road.
Yeah. Man, it's aggressive.
And some of
There's
the
a lid on this.
revelations that I've come to realize here recently is that there's no way I could please everyone.
Oh no, it's impossible. I was gonna say the only thing you can do is please yourself, but
then
depending on who's listening.
If you try to please everyone, then ultimately you would never please yourself.
True.
Because that attempt is impossible.
Well, I was talking with a friend earlier today, and I told her, I said, you know, a person can't be happy with other people unless they're also happy with themselves. You have to be happy with yourself first. You can't let other people determine your happiness or lack thereof, because it's not fair to put that kind of burden on somebody else, and it's not fair to you to require somebody else to make you whole or make you happy.
How do you find happiness today? I think today it's more complex than it was.
I would agree, because I would say because of social media.
Happiness
honestly.
often used to be closely tied to your career.
Oh yes. If you had a good job, a good paying job, and you had a title in your job, and you got to dress up to go to work, you were happy.
Corner office with a view.
But
name on the door.
But then there were people who, as long as they got to get their hands dirty at work and fix something and make it so that somebody else's life was better and easier because they were able to help them in some way, they were happy. So everybody's version or definition of happiness is going to be completely different. What makes you happy may not make me happy, and vice versa.
I really enjoyed building things physically. Now doing it digitally and virtually, and that's a little odd, but it's still pretty cool.
And I enjoy working with my hands. Like, all the jobs I've had that I like the most involve me helping people in some way or another, but also involved physicality at the same time. I see it.
He's got the Insta360.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Invisible stick. But also with building, what I enjoyed was making money by building things. Seeing my hard work and my effort returned in relatively high amounts in compensation, only to realize that now that's actually frowned upon, depending on who you ask for the type of work that I do, although it's not a real job. Whereas though I probably earn large multiples, high multiples over what the average real job would be considered to do what I do, but this is not a real job, and therefore I can't please anyone with what I do, with the content I create, the news that I bring, the updates, the announcements, the warnings, the tips, the ideas, the strategies, the how-tos, the training, because I make too much money doing it. Therefore, I can't please them from me doing what I'm doing that's going to help them. Therefore, the message gets completely lost and misinterpreted, because now you've already have this block.
Well, here's the thing. That just means in my mind that who you're building these things for aren't the ones seeing them, and the people who don't need to bother with the building are the ones that are there.
Well, some people are saying that I should stop
Those people are idiots.
and I should take a break
Those people are idiots.
and I shouldn't do this
This
anymore
is super bumpy right here. Just
and I should go do something else.
Those people are idiots, and those people are there designed to take their negativity out on you in hopes that you will also feel negative, because having too much positivity makes them feel bad because they're not having positivity in their life.
So, one of my favorite movies is The Matrix. Included in that list will probably be Inception, interestingly enough. I guess
Inception.
these types of movies.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction's on the list, although Pulp Fiction
not the same style
isn't
movie.
anywhere near
No.
close the same as Matrix or Inception, but I do believe that Pulp Fiction is similar for the fact that it's real.
Yeah.
It's real. Matrix and Inception are movies that are real from a standpoint and a position that most people probably wouldn't relate to, because they're still plugged in.
Yeah.
They're still plugged into the Matrix, or they are asleep in the dream.
Yeah.
Within the dream. Possibly within the dream.
Very true.
Whereas in the Matrix, there's a scene where they call it deja vu. And if you see a black cat, or if you see something twice, something odd, deja vu.
Water.
You can't brush it off.
Yeah.
It's very, very important that you analyze that.
Yeah.
Because there's a glitch.
Yeah.
Something's not right.
Correct.
That means you think you saw something that you may not have really seen, or maybe you didn't see something that you should have seen, which I think is what happens with a lot of my videos. Whereas I'm trying to bring this message and deliver this message, people see what they want, or they don't see what I'm trying to show them.
I agree.
Now, you have similar experiences with this, and I'm not going to go into great detail or name any names, but in the information, the research that you do and what you uncover, you clearly see what they don't want you to see.
Clearly.
For instance, what happened yesterday?
Are we talking about Shell?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have so much on that today that I was going to record, and I ran out of time, and so I'm going to have to do it tomorrow, because there's a lot there that if you step back and look at things, you're like, wait a second.
Did somebody make a mistake? Did somebody do something wrong? Are we doing something wrong by trying to share this with the world?
I don't think so. I would much rather somebody help me think and show me things I wouldn't have seen or might not have known for myself than let me just stay oblivious and ignorant to things and then wonder why things are the way they are. I may be an anomaly with that one, but I would rather know than not know.
But what happens when you know, and what you know proves that everything that you thought you knew is completely wrong, and you've been going about it all wrong this whole time? You should have been doing something different.
Then
Maybe something that would have a greater impact on the world. Maybe you shouldn't work for money. Maybe you should have nothing.
it all depends on what you learn, how you see it, what you personally take from it, and where you decide you want to go with it.
Jesus is the atoning sacrifice for our sins. And not only our sins, but for the sins of the whole world. Are the feelings that I feel, the messages that I'm being told to deliver, the information that is being inputted into my brain from some source, from some signal somewhere, all divine intervention, coincidence, random, potentially happenstance, or maybe just something I've already picked up on days ago, weeks ago, months ago, years ago, that is in the back of my mind that I'm now just sharing and posting and publishing on this site for you all to consume. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know exactly what's going on, and I don't know everything. And honestly, if I were to think about it all, I really know very little in comparison to how much there is to know. Maybe I'll never know it all in this lifetime either, or at least an ounce, a fraction of what could be. But I do know this. I know that what we're experiencing today is a test. And the test is going to determine, it's going to ultimately identify the strong from the weak. Now, this could be physical strength. This could be emotional strength. This could be mental strength. This could be psychological strength. This could be a variety of strengths and weaknesses that'll be clearly identified in the very near future, in my opinion. The question is what do you do with the strengths that you have? And if you can identify the weaknesses, how will you use that knowledge, that education, those facts to improve, to prepare, to ultimately survive and pass this test? Unless your goal ultimately is to be wiped out, just experience total failure, total collapse, total demise. Which I know is not necessarily true. It's not the case for all. If that were the case, we wouldn't have iPhones. We wouldn't have Apple iPhones. We wouldn't have exotic luxury cars. We wouldn't have 5G, which we wouldn't even have 10G, which is now coming out from Verizon. We wouldn't have Corvette, C8 Corvette, Stingrays, Z06s. We wouldn't have airplanes and spaceships and SpaceX. We wouldn't have any of this, because ultimately it's the drive, it's the push, it's the determination by those who question the status quo and push beyond their limits and boundaries to ultimately develop and discover something new, something great. I hope that at some point I can do that. I think that's my purpose. I think that's the path that I'm on. But I also hope that at some point things get better. Things are pretty shitty right now. Things kind of suck. Not just in this country, but around the world. And I'm becoming more in tune. It's becoming abundantly more clear, and I really do appreciate you all sharing it with me. How do we improve? How do we do better? How do we turn our weaknesses into strengths? How do we use our strengths to help others improve upon their weaknesses? I do want to share with you all, somebody left a comment on a video and they said, hey, I follow you on Instagram. However, the messages that you send me on Instagram do not seem like you. They seem kind of spammy or scammer-like, fraud. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be the first to say that there is a clone of my account on Instagram that is reaching out to people pretending to be me. They are stealing and duplicating and copying all of my photographs, all of my uploads. The screen name is very similar to mine, and it'd be very, very hard to really pick apart the differences. And I will say, from the screenshots that I've seen, because I can't actually see this account because they blocked me, they've made me private so I can't see it, but they are scammy, they are spammy. So I put up a community post. Please go check it out, because it clearly identifies which Instagram account is mine, and hopefully you can use this, and hopefully this can be helpful to add as a strength, so that you can see if perhaps maybe one of your weaknesses is trying to determine and decipher real from fake, lies from truth, fraud from authenticity. I don't want you guys to experience any unnecessary and undue hardship. Life is tough enough as it is already. But this is just a small fraction of what is happening out there, what's going on, and ultimately what is allowed to continue, not only from the top down, from government, from the current administration, from left, right, blue, red. It then permeates into mainstream media, social media, education, syllabus, curriculum, textbooks, internet, so anything on the web for that matter, really, advertisements, radio, even frequencies that we can't even pick up on and acknowledge as human beings that penetrate our brains. I was riding with a friend 2 days ago, and he says, "Hey, can you type in this address so we can check it on the map and GPS, make sure we're going the right direction?" He said it's 61. I put in 61, and after I put in 61, it filled in the rest of the entire address from just 61. We didn't type it in, we just said it. They're always listening. Unfortunately, the same technology, this device, this Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, this DJI wireless microphone, this wireless Wi-Fi internet, this social media, this YouTube platform, this IP address that the signal is being sent through, all of this is listening and paying attention. And in my opinion, taking all this information, taking all this data, collecting it, and sorting it and filtering it, and having it available to potentially use in the future. But how will it be used in the future? For what reason? Will it be for good? Will it be for evil? Will it be to be determined, but then under the sole discretion of the viewer, the recipient, will it be received accurately or misinterpreted? It really blows my mind on a regular basis, day after day. Maybe I'll find an answer soon. Maybe I won't. Maybe that's just what this life is all about. Trying to find answers and solutions that you'll never, ever actually get. But I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up.